Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Gran Turismo 2, the sequel to our 3-color Doppelgang deck that tried to race off with the game. We've done some tweaking and have a slightly different take on the original. We've still got a lot of the same elements, but we've added an enchantment that enables us to end games under the right conditions. We even have the ability to take out the opponent in one turn if we have the right cards in play. We take care of enemy men with a sweeper and have life gain and ramp to get us to our pricey cards. To make sure we don't run out of ammo, we have card draw as well as a way to use our instants and sorceries multiple times. We're out to break opponents, and if that doesn't work, we have the tools to take them out. Let's get in there. We're playing the amazing authority of the Consuls to slow down opposing men. We're not too concerned about the opponent blocking since we're not looking to make repeated attacks. Any hasty men will have to wait a turn before they can swing in. Plus, the life gain can help buy us time until we can set up better defenses or clear the board. Stormchaser's talent is key to being able to combo off. When we level it up to level 2, we can get back any instant or sorcery from our grave back to our hand. It does cost 4 mana, but being able to reuse a Sunfall or later in the game, a Doppelgang, can easily be enough to break an opponent's will to fight. Being able to Doppelgang more than once will let us build up a critical amount of permanence that we can overwhelm any opponent. The otter tokens we get can be a win condition, especially if we are able to take this to level 3. Up the Beanstalk is our card draw of choice. We get to draw a card when we play it out and draw when we play out a Doppelgang Sunfall, the green virtue, and our bounce spell, which we can fire off for only 2 mana. As with any deck, there are some critical cards we need to find, and this will help us get them. Doppelgang is an amazing card. With it we can make multiple copies of any permanents we have in play. But that's not all, we can even use it to copy the opponent's cards as well. The goal is to get a virtue in play and copy it while holding off the opponent's men. With more mana than we can use, we can make piles of talents to get back multiple sorceries or instants and use them along with the siege to mill every single card in the opponent's deck. At least that's how it should go, but opponents often concede before we get too far along. Ancient Cornucopia is a mana artifact that also gains us life to keep us in games a little bit longer, hopefully long enough to be able to implement our plans. Copying this with a Doppelgang can let us gain more than enough life to fend off an opponent. Glacierwood Siege has 2 effects, but you have to pick one when it enters play. For us, we're looking at the mill part, so we can snipe cards right off the top of the opponent's deck every time we play an instant or sorcery. Copying the siege with a Doppelgang will accelerate the process, but with the right cards in play, we can endlessly play and replay cards until every card in the opponent's library is in their grave. GG's opponent, and thanks for coming on the big show. Map the Frontier is a ramp sorcery, which lets us fetch out a pair of lands from our deck and put them in play tapped. In this case, we can get deserts which hit the opponent for a point of damage when they enter, or we can get basic lands. It's important to note that we can make copies of any deserts we have with a Doppelgang to deal further damage to the opponent. This is another way we can get the opponent down to 0 life. Sunfall is our board wipe. It clears out all men and exiles them. This is a great way to make sure they don't get to come back from the grave. As a bonus, we get an incubator token that we can use to block or attack. If the opponent is able to rebuild their board and get more threats in play, we can get our Sunfall back with a talent and wipe a 2nd or 3rd time. This town ain't big enough is a very useful bounce spell, as we can use it to bounce something the opponent has as well as one of our permanents. Most of the time we'll bounce back a talent, but we can bounce a beanstalk to be able to replay it or to slow down our card draw if we've been drawing too many. The green virtue is a powerful ramp enchantment. With it in play, our basic lands will produce 3 times the normal amount of mana. With just 3 lands, that would 9 mana, and by the time we're able to play it out, we'll have many more lands in play. With multiples, we can get hundreds of mana and fire off gigantic Doppelgangs that can extend our turn and possibly end the game in 1 turn. The adventure part is also very useful, as we can get back a Fabled Passage to let us fetch out another basic. For lands, we have 3 Fabled Passage, the special land we can sacrifice to get a basic land out of our deck. For Lush Oasis, the Simic Desert. For Creosote Heath, the Celestia Desert. For Lonely Arroyo, the Azorius Desert. For Forest, 3 Island, and 2 Plains. Playing the deck is easy in the early to mid-game, with those turns being about setting up our board and defending against enemy men. A Sunfall is our solution to opponents fielding squads of men, It'll clear out all men, leaving no room for bringing anything back from the grave. A talent early can also set us up with a blocker if we're facing down multiple enemies. Bouncing the talent and an enemy might be enough to buy us critical time. A siege and a virtue can be game-ending, but don't discount multiple talents or fetching out and copying deserts until the opponent's life is reduced to 0. It's in the late game when decisions get tricky. A doppelgang will be critical in the late game. Always go for copying the virtue, lands, and a talent to be able to get hundreds of mana and be able to use any route that's open to get the victory. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is Keef, as in Kiefer Sutherland. We all know he keeps his pants on. We're kicking things off with a 3-lander. We've got some ramp, card draw, and our mill enchantment. It's not the best mix of cards, but not horrible either. Keep your pants on. They play out a Ruin Lurker Bat, and the life gain strategy has arrived on the big show. We draw an authority, and we'll need to decide which enchantment we'll want to play out on our next turn, the authority or the beans. For now, we'll sit tight and think about it. They go for an Ellis the Sadistic Pilgrim, the original gain and drain guy. It's time to crack the passage for a land. We'll take a plains, we will need white. We'll play out the authority. It's very likely they will have a line of men coming, and we can take advantage by gaining some life for every guy they play out. They come in for hits, but then pass the turn without any follow-up plays. Sometimes the opponent buys us some time. Thanks, bro. We'll go with the beans this turn. It will replace itself, and we'll get card draw when we fire off the Sunfall. We draw a virtue, and with it we can get back our passage sitting in our grave. They come in for hits, and once again have no follow-up plays. I guess they think their 2 men will go the whole way. That's optimistic thinking. This turn we'll fire off one of our ramp spells. Let's grab a pair of deserts and slap them with our lands. They drop an Essence Channeler. Maybe they decided that 3 damage a turn wasn't going to get the job done. Let's kick them in the seat of their pants. We'll nuke the board and get ourselves an incubator token, as well as an extra draw. The rest of their hand is probably all removals. Oopsie scoopsie bro, GG's. This is blank slate. No wait, it's Blanco-O. I hate it when I go O in my pants. Keep them on, bro. We get a 3-lander once again with some of our defensive measures and a cornucopia. I like it. Keep. They drop a mountain but have no plays. What's mono red up to these days other than staining it? Another mountain, and still nothing coming on down. Did you oopsie poopsie, bro? Is that what that smell is? These deserts have done more damage than mono red. Let them eat it like a pie. They stain it some more and get the smell out of here. This is Pancreas Knight. If you're not careful, he'll hurt you in the spleen. We get a Celestia 3-lander with an assortment of goodies. Unfortunately, we won't be able to play out the talent until we get some blue. Other than that, this is fine. Keep your pants on. All right, we're going to turn the lights out on this fool. If you're afraid of ghosts, you better pick up the phone and call Ghostbusters. Boros and no plays on turn 2. Are you even trying, bro? Let's crack our passage for an island. Our deck has been activated. Oh no, wait, they hit us with a helix. That's cool, bro. We'll just regain that life later. With some blue mana secured, we can play out our talent. We're primed to do what our deck does. They play out an Ash, the party crasher. He might be crashing this party, but we can kick him out when we want. If he tries to drop his pants, we're sending him packing. We could go with our beanstalk here, but let's get the Horn of Plenty down. We can start gaining life and wreck their plans to drop us to 0. A cute hasty mouse, very nice Boros. They send it and we'll block the 3. Let's try to hang on to as much life as we can for the duration of this game. We'll go with some ramp this turn. Let's grab an Azorius Desert and a forest. Our lands alone have slapped them back down to 20. Get some. They don't add to their board and send it. We'll go down to 9, and that's going to do it for this party. We have the mana to play out the beanstalk and fire off Sunfall, and get 2 extra cards in the process. Listen up, Boros, it's time to grab your stuff and get gone. We will definitely smell you later. They're even packing hasty angels. Life is nothing but a number, and we're not done until it gets to 0. Or less. A quick count of our mana, and it looks like we can fire this off for 2. That's not the best, but it's going to work for now. We are fully able to run it back again with the weaponry we have on board. Let's copy their angel and our talent. That'll give us the ability to get back the Doppelgang multiple times. It's not fair at all. Like the original, our angel has vigilance as well, so we can send it in for damages. They take it like a champ. They play out an ossification, and that's going to take out our angel. Rome wasn't built in a day, and games like this aren't won in a turn or 2. They drop a nemesis and send it. That's 7, so taking it will leave us at 1. That's still above 0. Hit me, bro. Stop playing games and hit me. Well, this calls for a board wipe. Let's level up one of our talents. No, not that one of the token ones. We'll get our Sunfall back, and we even have the mana to fire it off. Fire in the poop hole. As long as they don't have a shock, we'll be fine. They didn't have a shock and no hasty men either. That was your chance, bro. You dropped the ball like you dropped your pants. As long as they don't have 2 shocks, we'll be fine. The beans drew us one of our bounce spells. Even a hasty guy won't be enough to seal the deal. We just need to leave 2 mana up. Multiple doppelgangs in one game, you say? The answer is yes, yes we will. They don't offer up anything, so we'll flip one of our incubators. Time to get out of the sack. We'll need you to get in there. We could fire this off for 3, but let's keep mana open to be able to use our bounce in case of emergencies. Let's not poop it and scoop it. We'll copy a Horn of Plenty and a talent once again. They're going to have nightmares tonight about doppelgangs and talents. As long as they don't have 4 shocks, we'll be fine. Look what we drew. The shuffler hates you, bro. We'll play out the talent for the Cornucopia triggers. As long as they don't have 5 shocks, we'll be fine. Another ossification is their play. That's okay, bro, we have another. Let's get the second incubator off its hind end. Get in there, bro. They fire off a removal to snipe our incubator. It's going to go down, but luckily we have 3 otters who can fill in. The first step is to fire off a shock of our own. It's 2 damages to the face. As long as they don't have 7 shocks, we'll be fine. Are we about to off a Boros deck with otters and lands? You can bet your pants on it. Let's get in there. Damages, bro, damages. It's a smelly end, but we did it. GG's extra cheese. This is Spren, he sprened his neck. I mean, just look at him. We get a 3-lander with an assortment of goodies that we like to see. This will be fine. Keep. Turtle power. All we need now is a pizza and some nunchucks. We'll opt to go with the beanstalk this turn. It means our cornucopia will be delayed, but that's fine. They destroy our beans, but we already got a card off it. We'll miss out on future draws, though. They play out a streetwise negotiator. That's not cool. That turtle is going to hurt us even without a pizza and nunchucks. It's time to play out our cornucopia. Then we can follow up with the authority. They play out a mockingbird, and you know they're going to copy the negotiator. It's okay, that's only a 9 spot, we're still fine. We draw a second Horn of Plenty of Life, but this turn goes to the Sunfall. We're packing their turtle and shoving it back into the sewer where it won't be seen again. They're going to need to find their combo all over again. The go with a Suruk, luckily it's nothing that is too big to deal with. We draw one of our bounce spells, and that could come in handy. For now, we'll play out our second Horn of Plenty, and that will be double life gain. We'll follow up with our ramp spell. and grab a forest and island. Turtle power, but it enters tapped and gives us a life. Thanks, bro. It's time to drop this virtue. Think of the manas. But also keep in mind that the auto-tapper is sometimes not your friend. Let's make sure we have basic lands untapped after we drop this bomb. Amazing, another negotiator. It's like they get the cards they need at the right time. They send it in, but that's 7 damages I don't want to be taking. Let's flip this pancake, and we can bounce the ninja and the enabler. Sure, we give them a pair of cards, but we also avoid 7 damages. It's a Shark Moss miracle. We draw a talent, and we can get back our bounce spell. Or even the Sunfall. Thanks to the virtue, we have more than enough mana to level up our talent and be able to fire off more spells. They can't handle the truth, they poop it and scoop it. It's GG's. This is the Noun Seeker, no wait, it's the Hound Speaker, no wait, it's... We get a 3-lander with a very combo-centric hand. We have a talent to bring back our Sunfall, and we have enough to fire off the sweeper with what we have in hand. Keep your pants on. We'll go with the passage and use it to fetch out a forest. That will let us play out the Virtue Adventure and get the passage back for another go-around. Oh, Mono Black, what are you doing with your life? They are turning into that one drunk uncle that could have been a genius but got lost in a bottle. We'll play out our Cornucopia this turn, and we can follow up with the talent. Sure, we can win with otter tokens, but they are not the key to victory. Losing our otter is not that big a loss. They play out a slasher right before we can Sunfall. 2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs way up. There's not much of a choice here, we have to crater their plans. It's very possible they could have a blood letter on their next turn, and take us out with one swing of the slasher. Let's not go there. The drop an Archfiend, it looks mighty scary, bro. We'll play out our Beanstalk. And that gets us a ramp spell. Well, when life hands you lemons, you cut them in half and squirt the juice into the opponent's eyes. Let's go with what we got. They play a second one. They are out of their gourd. They have to be able to see that we are 1 mana away from being able to level up the talent and Sunfall all in the same turn. We have to play out the passage and use it to fetch a land out of our deck if we want to level up the talent and Sunfall this turn. Prepare your shorts for a staining. They throw down a lily, probably in frustration. We do have a pair of incubators we can flip over to damage her reputation. No wait, loyalty. To damage her loyalty. We'll do some flipping, and then send the tokens on in to hurt some feelings. And rear ends. They have a removal, but that takes out only the smaller of our 2 men.
Regret that. We all have things we'd rather forget.
Will the auto-tapper please stand up? We see you, bro. It's not super critical that we keep up our basics, but we do want to take our talent to level 3.
Watch it.
They drew another lily. That kind of made things awkward for a moment, right, bro?
Nobody knows Dominaria's shadows like me.
We drew a Sunfall, which would seem like an awful draw, which it kind of is, but remember that we have a level 3 talent on board. We can fire off the Sunfall on an empty board and get a token before the Sunfall resolves. And we'll get a draw as well. We draw another Beanstalk, and that could very well help us out if we can find some of our pricey cards. And of course we draw a land. At least it's a desert, and we can land slap the opponent's face. They play out a slasher, a mighty fine draw.
Don't overthink things.
We get an even better draw, a talent. Let's go ahead and play it out and get our Sunfall for a 3rd spin around the block. Or is this 4 times now? I lost track. Let's give Lily a smack on her wide rear end. Knowing her, she probably liked it. Let's take the second talent up to level 3, and we can fire off our ramp for a pair of otters. This oughter be fun. They drew a land, oopsie poopsie. Should have drawn a board wipe, bro.
I'm tired of your secrets.
It's time to smash Lily, then send her on her way. It's been fun, Lily. For a good time, call 1-800-LILY.
Knew this was wasting time.
That late game duress is very impressive. We get more ramp, and we can serve up some damages that bro has to eat. There's no sending this dish back, just pinch your nose and swallow. Let's get in there. Damages, bro, damages. The poop it and scoop it. Some pants were stained during this video. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.